A very good morning to all of you. Our chief guest, Shri HPS sir, is on the way, and within 15 to 20 minutes, we shall be starting the proceedings of the conference. May I request everybody to please take your seat? May I request everybody to please take your respective seats, and then we can just start a brief round of introduction of each of you.
Good morning, everyone. It's really wonderful to have all of you here. You know, this used to be an annual affair, but because of the pandemic for 2 years, since 2019 actually, we haven't had a physical intercompany CSR conference. So that's a great thing. In the meanwhile, I think we all may have forgotten each another's names or who is where. So it'll be a good thing if we could start with a round of introduction. Starting with, let me say about myself, I'm Kapil Kaul. I am with JK Paper. So that's me. Kirti?
Hello. Good morning, everybody. I'm Prafulla Kumar Dhal. I am from JKPM Rayagada.
Good morning. I am Adil Mishra from JK Tire Kankrodi plant. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Subhash Vasisht from JK Tire Kankodli.
Good morning, everybody. I am Rakesh Srivastava. I am from JK Tire Kankrodi plant. Thank you.
Good morning to all of you. My name is Sasank. I am working in JK Paper. I am having 7 years of experience, and I am the pass out of the IFM. Thank you.
Yeah. Good morning all. Myself Aditya Samrat. I am from JK FNR Hyderabad plant.
Very good morning all. Sarvesh here from JK FNR Hyderabad, taking care of HR. I just joined 6 months ago with JK FNR. Thank you.
Good morning everybody. I am Rakesh and I am from PSRI Hospital, Delhi, and I am taking care of community outreach program at PSRI Hospital. Thank you.
Good morning to all. Myself Manusri Rai, JKPM Rayagada.
Good morning. My name is Shalini. I am from JK Food Gajrala. Thank you.
Hello, good morning everyone. My name is Praveen Shukla. I am based at head office and I look after UDL CSR projects.
सभी को नमस्कार. मेरा नाम मनोज यादव है और मैं जेके फूड गजरोला से हूँ.
Good morning all. My name is Rajesh Kumar Biswal from JKPM Rayagada. Thank you.
Good morning all. My name is Jagdish. I am from JK Tire Vikrant Tire Plant, Mysore. I am just 2 months young to this organization. Thank you.
Good morning all. I am Nagaraj from JK Tire Vikrant Tire Plant, Mysore of Karnataka.
Good morning all. Myself Vishnu Badil from JK Tire Banmore Tire Plant.
Good morning all. I am Gupteshwari Adangaka from JKPM Rayagada.
गुड मॉर्निंग. मेरा नाम शिव प्रसाद है, उमंग डेयरी गजरौला.
Very good morning. I'm Panchali Sharma. I'm from JK Paper Head Office.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Soumya. I'm a part of JK Paper CSR team.
Good morning, everyone. I am Srishti Sharma from JK Lakshmi Cement Kalol Grinding Unit.
Good morning, everyone. I am Vishal, and I am working at JK Lakshmi Cement's Jhajjar plant. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I am Sushil Kumar Raut. I am from JK Lakshmi Cement, Cuttack.
नमस्कार सभी को सुप्रभात मेरा नाम जितेंद्र पाल है और मैं जेके पेपर लिमिटेड सीपीएम से हूं सोनगढ़ थैंक यू
Good morning all. My name is Sahai Raj. I am from JK Tire, Chennai Tire plant. I am happy to be associated with the JK organization for the past 20 years.
Good morning. Well, I am Rajendran leading HR, IR, EHS from Chennai Tire plant. So since 2011 inception of the plant, I am associating with the JK family. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I am Dheeraj Sharma from JK Tire, Laksa Tire plant, and I am basically looking after HR, IR, and EHS. I have been associated with this company since last 5 years. Thank you.
Good morning, all. I am MS Janardhan from JK Fenner, Chennai. I drive the CSR initiatives.
Good morning, everybody. I am Rochak Bharadwaj. I am based in Siroi, Rajasthan with JK Lakshmi Cement. I joined this organization in the month of July 2022. Thank you.
Good morning, all of you. I am Sanjay Kumar Dubey. I am from JK Lakshmi Cement Durg unit, Chhattisgarh. Thank you.
Good morning, all of you. My name is Mahib D.D. Charan, and I am serving as CSR Deputy Manager at Udaipur Cement Works Limited.
Good morning, everyone. Myself Pushkar Suthar, and I am working with Udaipur Cement Works Limited in last 4 months. Thank you.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर मेरा नाम महेंद्र राजपुरोहित है जेके लक्ष्मी सीमेंट सिरोही प्लांट से
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chetan Rawal, and I am also from JK Lakshmi Cement, Siroi, Rajasthan.
Good morning, all of you. I am Kishore Rawal from JK Lakshmi Cement, Siroi, Rajasthan.
Good morning, all of you. Myself, Vijay Lakshmi from JK Lakshmi Cement Plant, Shiroi District.
Good morning to all of you. I am Anupam Bajpayee and I look after corporate social responsibility in JK Tire. Let me also share with you all that there is a live telecast of this event, inauguration event, and also of the valedictory event that is going on. So all of you are live in YouTube right now.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Manish Kumar. I am from JK Lakshmi Cement, situated at Head Office, Delhi.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sonia Dugal from JK Lakshmi Cement Head Office.
Good morning, everyone. I am Anurag Kumar from JK Tire Laksa plant.
Good morning, all. I am Ketan Malwania from JK Lakshmi Cement Surat. I am into plant HR and admin.
Hello? Okay. So, while we await the arrival of Shri Harshpati Ji Singhania, I just want to share some interesting data with you, which I'm sure will make all of us proud. We had undertaken an exercise to do a group brochure on CSR for JK Organization East. And the intention was that we will release it during this conference. However, when I went to the chairman to get his message approved, he said, let's make it for the entire JK organization, which is West and North also. So we had to, on his instructions, I had to hold the printing because he wanted the other groups also to come. So hopefully we should be able to get inputs from them also, and then you will have a much better presentation with you to impress your audiences. Now, the facts which will make us all proud are that JK organization Eastern Zones CSR presence is in 17 states. We are in 17 states. So I think India's got how many? 28 states? 29, right? So we are more than half of the states we are present. So we cover 100 districts. In 100 districts, our CSR footprint is there. Our programs traverse 2,200 villages. 2,200 villages. And we serve more than 5 lakh households. So this is the collective strength and might of our organization, JK organization, Eastern Zone, and we all need to take pride and ownership in this because this is a collective effort of everyone. Interestingly, we cover almost all the sustainable development goals. Almost all the sustainable development goals. I think 1 or 2 we don't cover, which are not in the, which are more into, justice, peace, etc., etc. But otherwise, I think we cover all these 17 development goals. And our presence, our initiatives, largely are towards creating livelihood, skills, and entrepreneurship. We strengthen sustainable agriculture. We also strongly support women empowerment. In fact, the number of women who have been empowered and who are now economic contributors to the society is more than 20,000, I think. 20,000 plus. So all these women who before our interventions were not contributing economically but are doing so now. So I think the chief guest has come. I'll stop here. Thank you.
A very good morning to all of you. And it's really great that all the dignitaries, they are already present and all the participants. So once again, a very good morning to all of you. And it's really a great feeling. It's really a great feeling to see you actually physically here. Because I think it is happening after 4 years. Definitely 2 years back we had our CSR conference, but that was in the digital form. So here, first of all, we have to start our program in a very auspicious way, and actually I shall be requesting all the dignitaries to please join in lighting the lamp and formally inaugurating CSR conference. So I'll request HPS sir, Prem sir, Kapil sir, and Sanjeev also to you. First of all, lighting the lamp. मेरा आप सभी लोगों से अनुरोध है कि देखिए दिल्ली में ठंडी बहुत है, तो तालियां जितनी ज्यादा बजाएंगे उतना गर्मी थोड़ी सी फील होगी, प्लीज. Now I'll request all the dignitaries to please take their respective seat. So as you, all of you are aware that it is the 5th Intercompany CSR conference, and the theme of the CSR conference is stakeholders, collaborations and impact. And that is very, very appropriate, very concurrent and very relevant in context of increasing focus over ESG and the business sustainability. And now I'll request Sanjeev, you please also come. Prem sir. And we shall be formally welcoming our dignitaries. I'll request first of all Srishti Sharma to please come here and present a planter to HPS sir. Then Anil Mishra ji. I'll request you to please welcome Prem sir. Srishti please. Anil Mishra ji to Prem Singh sir. Miss Manushri Ray to Mr. Kapil Kaul ji. And to Aditi Samrat to Sanjeev Jha. Or I'll request if Mr. Janardhan to please come. And seems Mr. Dagar hasn't yet reached, is it? Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Let me now request Shri Prem Singh, sir. He is the President, Group HR, JK Organization, for the welcome address and also for giving a brief outline of today's conference. Prem, sir.
Good morning. I don't feel the warmth of Delhi. Good morning. That's better. So, all the respected DICs, Shri Harshpati ji, many of them joining online, all the business leaders, senior colleagues, participants here, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to all of you to this very important CSR conference of JK organization. I just want to take a moment to talk about the overall context. You would have heard various terms: CSR, philanthropy, social impact, of late, SDG and ESG. Now, it's a continuum, it's a journey which we have been witnessing. And just to give you a little sense why this is becoming important, few weeks ago, I was talking to a very senior person, a candidate for one of our roles in the organization. And I was just taking him through the overall presentation of our group as to this is what we are, this is what we stand for, these are our values, this is our technology, this is our overall landscape. And as I was making a presentation to him, I could see a shine on his face 3 times. Number one, when I spoke to him about our culture, about our values, about our ethos, about our heritage, that's when I noticed a shine on his face. Number two, when I was talking to him and I presented a slide about the impact, social impact we are making on the society as a group, there was a slide about that. Number three, most important, when I spoke about sustainability report, that we have been publishing our sustainability report, and I held a copy, our JK Tyre company's sustainability report, I held a copy like this, that by the way, we also have been leaders in publishing our sustainability report, and this is one of the copies of the recent sustainability report. And he really got excited about it. He asked a lot of questions about it. So the point I'm making is, lot of things about technology, manufacturing process, lot of stuff is actually taken as given. What differentiates us from the rest of the organizations are these finer nuances, finer, higher level stuff that we do. And there may be a perception, in fact there used to be a perception few years ago, कि यार ये सब touchy feely goody stuff है. It is not really important. That used to be the perception few years ago, but today it is making a difference. And it is only because of these that we are able to today entice and attract lot of high quality talent in the organization, because those people value the organization, those people value those companies which are focused on high end, higher stuff, social impact, sustainability and what have you. I'll just talk about one data point based on one research. Gen X, uske pehle baby boomers the. So there was a research which was conducted as to how much percentage of these people, investors, are driven towards those companies which are into ESG or sustainability. Baby boomers, really the senior old generation, 16% of them were inclined towards those companies who were into ESG, SDG, sustainability. Next generation, Gen X, this percentage became 27%. Let's talk about now. The millennials, the new generation. 41% of millennials are inclined to invest in those companies which are focused on sustainability. And this percentage is only going to grow. Not only the investors, not only the employees, not only the overall community around us get attracted to the companies focused on ESG and SDG, even the regulators, bankers, once they know that you are a company, you are a group committed to SDG, you could command much better prices, much better terms while taking a loan. Similarly, dealing with many other stakeholders, sustainability is no longer a fad. At the end of the day, as a business organization, we are playing the role of a trustee. Trusteeship. In fact, Mahatma Gandhi talked about this concept many years ago. We are seeing the real application now. At the end of the day, as business organizations, we are in the role of a trustee. When we are using the natural resources, we also have a responsibility, societal, moral, whatever you may call, to make sure that whatever we consume, whatever impact we make in terms of an adverse impact on the planet, we are able to neutralize that, or we are able to give back in terms of sustainability, in terms of environment, and in terms of overall future impact that we are causing. That's why this concept of 3P, profit, planet, and people, have become extremely important. ESG, SDG, these are now getting mandated by regulatory organizations. Therefore, the business strategy stand alone will be limiting in its impact until it is integrated with the sustainability strategy. And therefore, in that context, it's very opportune moment that our CSR professionals are getting together to understand, to deliberate, to learn from each other, to see what's happening around and what are the areas where we can make an impact collectively. JK as an organization has been extremely committed and extremely high in terms of giving back to the society, making a social impact, preserving environment, making sure that we utilize a lot of our energy consumption. 50 to 80% of the plant's requirements that we have at various locations are met through renewable resources. And I know when I talk about this stuff with a lot of candidates, it does make an impact. You are seen with a lot of respect, because to that extent you are distinguishing yourself away from the crowd. Sustainability, last point I would like to make, it's all about balance. I would like to give an example of pendulum. You see the pendulum? We learned this concept in the 8th class in physics. Pendulum, it swings from one extreme to the other extreme, right? When it goes to the extreme, its velocity becomes 0, and then it goes to the other extreme. Again, the velocity becomes 0. When it is at the center, that is the point when it is running the fastest. When it is trying to seek a balance, that is when it is running the fastest. Similarly, organizations are also a system which comprises of lot of elements. An organization is far more effective when it has a very nice balance of sustainability, various elements, people, environment, energy, water, natural resources, all the elements of this ecosystem, when they are in alignment, in unison, that is when organization as a system is at its optimal level of effectiveness. I'm very happy that we have spent a considerable amount of time in curating this conference. My deep gratitude to Srimati Vinita ji. She spent a lot of time discussing the overall agenda of the 2 days conference. Shri Harshpati ji, personally he has gone through the entire plan and he made sure that he is here in person for addressing all of us. Thank you very much, sir. And madam, thank you very much for your commitment, for your passion. Madam is connected online. Similarly, all other DICs, thank you so much for your encouragement. To our business heads, we look forward to your continued support. And to the participants, I would just say that make the best use of this opportunity, trying to challenge, trying to learn, trying to understand what next. How do we take the entire agenda to the next higher level? CSR is no longer a desirable or extracurricular activity, so to say. It is an integral part of the business. And in fact, a couple of minutes ago, I was just talking to Mr. Jha. I think there are few elements that we must integrate. For example, volunteerism. Can we incorporate volunteerism of employees into our overall strategy? Lot of other things. Please make the best use of this opportunity. There are speakers who are coming from outside. There are going to be a lot of value add. And with this, I'm sure this will be extremely useful, and all of you will walk out with a lot of value add. With this, all the very best, and God bless all of us. I would now request you have a presentation? Okay, sorry. Before Shri Harshpati ji comes, there is a small presentation which Mr. Jha is going to present. Thank you very much. God bless all of you.
Thank you, Prem sir. And I think many of you who have heard Prem sir, many times he says ki Prem, naam to suna hi hoga. So anyway, it's always a pleasure to listen to him, sir. And sir, something which you have mentioned about that 41% millennials, that they are ready to invest in the sustainable companies, and that is something really great. So I think a big round of applause for all of you, because of you people only that thing is likely to happen. So a big round of applause for all of you. And Prem sir, thanks a lot to you. Now let me request Sanjeev, please, for your views on next decade challenges and opportunities for JKO.
So good morning once again, and gratitude to HPS sir, Prem sir, Vanita madam, and all the DICs for giving us the opportunity to have this inter-company CSR conference. I welcome all of you. I understand we are running short of time. I have committed HPS sir that I will quickly finish my presentation in 5 to 6 minutes, and I will not take time because he has some other engagement. But I wanted to, make few very quick broad points that are going to actually drive the entire CSR landscape in the next decade. And this I personally wanted to present before the DICs. So thanks for this opportunity. Very quickly, I will run through and give a snapshot of what is it that is happening. Next slide, please. Okay. Sir, basically what I have done, that I'm going to talk, I have a total of 12 slides. I am going to talk about the mega factors which will shape the CSR in India next decade, how these will impact the CSR landscape, and what is it that we need to do at JKO as a CSR team for being this future ready. So what essentially, sir, we have done, that I have sent a set of questionnaire that what are the factors that will shape CSR in India next 10 years, then how it will impact, and what is it that we need to do. We have sent this questionnaire to the business heads at the JKO, external consultants, the plant heads, and the CSR team members, and based on those received responses, I have and also looking at the secondary sources and other mega trends that is going to impact the business, so that the presentation is based on that, sir. So basically, there are 10 very critical factors that will shape CSR in the next decade. And first is that the huge social sector spending gap. If India has to achieve, 2030 SDG goals, India is in a deficit of almost 10 lakh crore in terms of, to comply to the commitment of SDG, and that is a huge spending that is required going forward. Another critical factor is that most of the, out of that 23,000 crore that currently India is spending as a part of 2% CSR spend, 60% is being spent on only 3 to 4 critical sectors: education, livelihoods, skilling, and rural development, and water. And another very critical, disadvantage that India is facing currently is that out of almost 35 states, the top 10 states which have the highest level of gross state domestic products, they are getting almost 80% of CSR spend. So essentially that means that the poor states and the hard to reach states are getting a very small portion of the CSR spending. Now, this is very important because CSR is happening in a business context, and the customer is becoming more conscious. If you look at, all these guidelines of the government of India, social responsibility, environmental and social responsibility of the business, GRI standards, social accountability, 26,8000, then ISO 26,000, all of them are driving, including the Prem sir, which already talked about the ESG. All of them are, shaping the CSR, which is expecting the business fraternity to deliver, to improve their social performance enhancement. So I personally very strongly believe that the CSR is going to move from the current Schedule 7 to overall social performance of the entire company. Then CSR is also very quickly, if you look at the entire, the landscape, CSR is moving from philanthropy to business strategy. And this has lots of implications. When I say business strategic, means at least 4 things are going to happen. That the CSR also has to create social license to operate. Then growing trends to do most of the CSR projects with the core competencies of the business as well as the value chain. And this is becoming a new trend for the CSR. And many companies, including our few companies like Maruti, they are doing, business supply chain linked CSR activities, and spend is growing. Then also, the CSR is also, because it happens in a multi-stakeholder context, CSR, the stakeholders are expecting that the business must mitigate the negative impact of their business. So CSR is also moving towards that how you will do the CSR project so that you will mitigate the negative impact of the business. And then, the brand visibility and cause-based marketing and all that. Then we have also, the SDG, social development goals. Now, in terms of the social development goals, largely out of the 17 goals, the current focus is on hunger, poverty reduction, education, and quality of life. But there are the softer issues and softer challenges which the regulators and the global community will force us to do, and those are, gender inequality, reduce income inequality, urban problems, enhance renewable use of energy. So those are few other challenges that those will be pushed to the CSR mandate. Then, the climate change, everybody is talking about the climate change, its impact on the livelihoods. If you look at the current, the Joshimath sinking, everybody knows that, the urban floods of Bangalore, these are the new natural calamities. And if you look at the government of data, that 25 out of 30 Indian states are disaster prone. And this is a mind-boggling data. It's not easy. Then 75% of the all India districts, they are disaster prone. That means that the CSR agenda will push natural calamity, disaster readiness of the community, the government preparations to include those agendas very, very strongly. And this is going to happen. Already it is happening. It will move from giving, check contribution to the disaster management fund and the PM relief fund to actually doing something with the local community and helping them to be ready for the disaster readiness. Then financial innovations in social sector, and the regulations have already come up. If you look at social stock exchange concept, the social venture fund, then social impact bond, already, National Skill Development Foundation, they are doing the social impact bonds. And most of a large portion of the CSR funding will go into these stock exchanges and the financial innovations to support the not-for-profit enterprises. If you also look at the growing use of the technology, and the virtual community engagement is going to be a reality tomorrow, and use of more technology in terms of delivering the CSR projects at a low cost as well as to scale up is going to become the new normal in the CSR landscape. Very quickly, social audit, already public sector undertakings, the government has made it a mandate, and the government has already asked the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India to develop the guidelines for social audit. I very strongly believe that in next 2 years, we are going to have the social audit, a statutory audit in place for the CSR also. Impact already everybody knows. Then if you look at, how government is thinking, many amendment has happened in 2020, but if you look at the report of the High Level Committee of the Government of India 2018, so many recommendations were already translated into law, but this many still recommendations that will give you some kind of insight how the Government of India is thinking. And the top most important is like that if you look at, the moving, they will force, companies to move from local area to go to the national level, to go to the 117, the most, the aspirational districts. A statutory financial audit is going to be a reality tomorrow. That is going to be happen, enhanced CSR reporting and disclosure, inclusion to the SDGs, and also third-party assessment. Now, what we need to do, I very strongly feel, and I have recommended that there are at least 10 pathways that at a JKO that we need to brainstorm and incorporate that so that we are future ready. I'm not going to talk about that because it will be repetitive. There are the social move from CSR spend to CSR impact investment. That is very important. Technology adoptions, strategic employee volunteering, and this I was having a discussion with Prem Singh sir also. This is the right time that we must have at a JKO level. We need to have an employment volunteering policy which is connected to your performance management system, and there is a mandate that there is some weightage to the PMS system 2 or 5 that is being contributed to the the social awareness and social projects of the employees. That is very important. Then capacity building, collaboration. Youth is going to next decade. Youth will be a major challenge. All of us do understand. So how would you engage with the youth and have a more investment on that? Multi-stakeholder setups and readiness for audit, enhanced disclosure, third-party assessments. And I will close by this is a very this is a very kind of very close to my heart. This bill for that creating a strong business and building a better world are not conflicting goals. I very strongly believe, and the entire ecosystem of CSR will take to where the corporates will be largely involved into building a better world. Thank you, sir, for hearing me, giving me this opportunity, and I have lots of gratitude to all of you. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Thanks a lot. And Sanjeev, let me just say this thing. You have said that in 5 minutes you will be talking, but in 5 minutes you have talked information of at least 50 minutes. So this is what actually, congratulations to you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, can we have a big round of applause, because I am going to request Shri HPS sir for his address. With a big round of applause. और ये तालियां तब तक रुकनी नहीं चाहिए जब तक सर अपनी बात को शुरू ना कर दें. Please, a big round of applause for sir.
Thank you very much. Good morning to all of you. Mr. Prem Singh, Mr. Jha, and all the others here on the stage. All of you here who have traveled from different places. A warm welcome on a cold Delhi morning. So I'm very happy, as was mentioned earlier, that we are doing this program again in a physical format. It's good to see people, it's good to meet people, exchange notes physically. However much you try and do that on a video conference, it's not as natural and easy to do that. So I'm delighted to be here. And since we are in the early part of the year, I wish all of you and your families a wonderful 2023. This is our fifth conference, and I remember the first time when we started CSR conference. As you know, we have many intercompany conferences or within the group covering other topics, and some of them have been going on for 20 years plus. To do other areas of marketing or finance and so on and so forth. So when we thought about the CSR conference, we said it's a very important piece of business as well as the community that we live in, and therefore it is essential that we should be deliberating, understanding, doing this and learning from each other, exchanging ideas about what we can do. And I was very happy, Sanjeev ji, to see your presentation. Please send me a copy. Thank you very much. I think it was really very good. And as Anupam mentioned, maybe matter of 50 minutes in 5 minutes. But sometimes, Anupam, when we do it like that, it has a greater impact. Because in 50 minutes, people start yawning and start thinking of something else. So this had high impact. But what you said is all good, and in fact, you have covered most of my remarks and what I wanted to say. But let me start by saying that, I always say whenever I meet anybody, whether it's policy makers or other people who talk of the term CSR, कि आप CSR में क्या करते हैं. So I go back and say that look, CSR is a new expression now, but essentially anybody in mankind, whether it is business in India, overseas, but particularly businesses in India, have always been giving back to society. Anybody who makes money, whether it is big or even from modest means, you want to give back to society, to the people around you. And in the early days, you call that, some people call that charity, then it became more sophisticated in works like philanthropy. And today, a lot of this is also being termed under CSR. Effectively, if you look around you, you will see that most of India's social fabric, whether they are hospitals, whether they are education institutions, whether they have been all kinds of other institutions, they have all been built by money given back or with the aid of money, of people who earn money, essentially. And therefore, in a way, this has been part and parcel of our culture, of our nature, of the way we operate. So I would think the same thing. Our founders in the JK organization believed in this right from the beginning. And way back in the 20s and 30s, we built schools, we built institutions in UP and a whole lot of other places. And we gave it to government in many cases. Unfortunately, some of those experiments were not very great because when you gave an institution back to government, it didn't run very well necessarily. So the purpose for which you built was only partially achieved. It was not sustained. Today, hopefully, we want to build institutions, edifices, organizations that will last its course and genuinely have greater impact. One thing which I think you also mentioned, but I think CSR is moving away from philanthropy to focus on sustainable long-term development, which is bringing major changes in families and communities, many cases intergenerational. So this has necessitated a more structured and systemic and purpose-driven CSR project-based orientation. And it's very important that you do something whose impact can be measured and can be visibly seen by people. So we have tried to therefore stress in JK organization, in most of our companies, on impactful projects. And I'm happy to see that we are doing more of this now. It is no longer saying that we have to do this, so somebody wants money, just give it. Somebody wants to build a hospital or somebody wants to build some center, let's give the money. It is no longer that. It is really focusing on projects which will have impact. So a major differentiator, or I would even say a major requirement, is impact assessment. I think there are two parts. One is a baseline, where before you come in, we are able to see what is the state of affairs, where are things, and then of course we have a target. This is what we wish to achieve from this project. And then we do the impact assessment when we implement the project to see. It is very important to have that rather than say, we spend so much, so many families were covered, all that is fine. That's all good at one level. But what is more important, I think, or equally important, is to understand, okay, so many families were covered. But unka kya fayda hua? Did we achieve what we set out to do? It doesn't matter if it's not achieved 100%, but at least we know. And if it is not achieved, then we can course correct and design better projects and understand more. Or did we not understand and assess the real needs? And we thought the needs that we thought were not necessarily the true needs. So that's how I think we need to see this. And therefore, impact assessment is very important. Now for this there must be clear KPIs. There must be defined objectives, there must be measures. And I think the more we can do this, the better we will be able to design and effect our projects and the various things that we do. And more importantly, to me, what we do is one part. But what is more important, frankly, is what is the benefit the stakeholders for whom the project is designed get. And that is the real thing. Also, now stakeholders, and by stakeholders I mean a whole lot of people. It could be our customers, it could be our investors, it could be regulatory bodies, it is also the community that we are living in. All of them are looking for more socially conscious companies. They are looking for people who will be able to do things in a responsible way and do things in an organized, proper way rather than doing ad hoc work. So we have multiple stakeholders, and therefore there is a shared value creation. And therefore we have to look at CSR from that lens as well. Hence partnerships, collaboration with like-minded organizations, with corporates, with even government. See, one of the challenges we have seen has been that while government has several what we call social welfare schemes or development schemes, they fall short many times in terms of implementation. And therefore we can be, hopefully we bring better organizational skills in some ways. And therefore if we can be collaborators and partners, we can do this. There are many other organizations across the country. And there could be other NGOs, there could be similar corporates, there could be other institutions focused on certain developmental areas. They and we must collaborate, because I would believe that, I have strongly believed all throughout, that it is not just the 1 rupee that we spend. If we can work with somebody else, we can certainly multiply the value and achieve a much greater reach with the same, for the same target group and for the same bunch of people that we have targeted at, because instead of 1 rupee you have 2 rupees to spend. Therefore I think partnerships and collaboration is going to be important, and we should not shy away from that. We should not think that this is ours and ours only, and if somebody joins me, they will take away my limelight. No, I think it is about achieving a common objective, a common good, and therefore we should do that. Now, while we are growing very fast as a nation, India, as you all know, is the fastest growing major economy of the world. And we will continue to grow, hopefully, at a rate which is faster than most others. And therefore, while our GDP is multiplying, while affluence is growing, while we are seeing a lot of developments, technology, modernization, everything happening, we are also seeing, like in many places in other countries, the development of 2 Indias. One, who are fortunate people, or like us in this room, all of you in this room are fortunate and privileged. But there are so many others outside who are less privileged, who haven't had the opportunities, who've had other challenges. And therefore today, while we grow at this rate, it is equally important that we target our activities towards those sections of society that are behind, which genuinely need developmental help. Whether that is, as you mentioned, managing crises, whether it is other problems. Now you look at the issue of urbanization. We have more and more people coming to cities. And projections show that India will be 50, 60, 70% urbanized in a few decades. Now, it may seem okay, but that is really scary. As it is in urban cities, we don't have adequate drinking water or effluent discharge or health care facilities and so on and so forth. So if we are growing at a certain level in urbanization, I don't think only civic authorities and governments and states can sort of provide all this infrastructure. The social infrastructure, they can provide more of the physical infrastructure. But I think it falls short in the social infrastructure. And that is where I think companies like us, like anybody, can come in and step in and work on those programs and create better environments. So therefore, that is an important part, and maybe part of our activities can be focused around some of that. Digital transformation is another subject. Digital, while we are embracing digital in our business, all of your companies, as you know, are in the middle of major digital transformation or major digital projects, right? All of your companies are. I think we can gain by using CSR, using digital and other technologies in CSR. For example, mapping. When we want to understand where clusters of people are or which are affected, there's a whole lot of demographic data. And I would go beyond digital to say really using data and data analytics. This is enabling the generation of a lot of data. So our targeting can be even better. We can actually look and dissect and cross-sectionalize a whole lot of demographics. So if you want to reach and say women of a particular age group, or women or folks suffering from a particular kind of deficiency in nutrition, or children suffering from particular nutrition, today data enables all that to happen much faster. So it's not necessarily very old historic data. So we should use digital technology, technology, I would not even say digital technology, but technology and digitization to understand needs and to target and deliver programs better, particularly in the areas of health, education, and skilling. So I think this is another area where we can weave this into our programs. Employee volunteering, you both, Mr. Prem Singh, in your remarks you mentioned, Sanjeev, you talked about it. But I think that is a culture we build. Employee volunteering is not going to be about a farman, but it has to be a culture where people genuinely believe, and we have to promote that culture as part of our HR activities. And I see some HR professionals here. I know many more are connected online, and my appeal to them would be, how do we integrate this as part of our HR policy? One very important thing, there is an expression called social capital. Now, really, in simple terms, a social capital, to my mind, means, do other people trust you? If they can trust you and have a relationship with you, then you are building social capital. It is not a financial capital to be measured, but it is something which is far more valuable, because you are socially valued and people want you because of the value that you bring on a social frame. So social capital, if we do projects well, if we do meaningful projects, we would be building social capital. And I think that is something which you alluded to in your slides as well, and you also talked about it, really in terms of saying if you build social capital, you're far more respected. And it has a multidimensional effect. Whether you are respected better by bankers is one aspect. Whether you are able to attract different employees, or people want to work here because they think it's a respectable organization. Because you're doing good, not just making money, but you are doing good for people. That becomes social capital. But most important to me is the trust that we earn, or we should be earning, from our local communities. They are the people who have to trust us. They are the people who have to believe us. And they have to find that we are really valued to them or valuable to them. Therefore, social capital building is an important aspect. I'd like to also touch on a couple of other things very quickly before I end. One is the fact that with your hard work and with God's grace, if our companies continue to grow, the 2% mandatory requirement for spend will naturally grow. It is already in several crore rupees. I think one of the big things, therefore, is we need to have adequate capacity to be able to spend that money meaningfully. See, you can give it, at the end of the day, you can give the money to, PM Cares Fund if you're falling short, because you have to report things, right? But I don't think, I would doubt if anybody in this room would feel that that should be our primary objective. Do you think that should be our primary objective? I don't think anybody feels so. So therefore, we want to do things which, as I started by saying, it is not charity, it is not philanthropy. We want to do things which will have an impact on society. Therefore, how do you do? Well, budget's growing, more money is to spend. We need to therefore build capacity. And capacity does not necessarily mean only increment in the CSR team or have more people. We need to build more capacity through partnerships. We need to build more capacity in being able to find solutions which are more meaningful. How do we make our existing programs more impactful? And with the same sort of people, how can we substantially increase the programs and their size? Therefore, this capacity building is going to be very important as far as we are concerned, because this is one reality. I am not going to talk about the ESG and other stuff because that has already been spoken about. But it is clear that the line between what was earlier philanthropy to CSR to ESG, sustainability, and the SDGs is all blurring into one. And yes, there is going to be more regulation. Even if it is not regulation, it will be a requirement. So, for example, today, companies or global companies, if they want to buy from you, they want to do an audit. And that audit is not about your quality. It's not about that. It is now also about what kind of, are you employing child labor? What kind of practices do you have for your employees? And it does not stop at your workshop, at your factory. They want to see the entire value chain. So if you are buying, you may be doing fine. But if you are buying inputs or materials from somebody whose practices are not so good, who's employing child labor or who's running a different kind of operation, they will not buy from you. It's not because your factory is failing, it's because the entire supply chain. So there is a much greater consciousness on all this, along with issues of climate change, along with a whole lot of other issues. And as our children and all of us get more educated, there is also a starting point from the schools to demand for a better society. Hence, it's important that we look at, you could call it social return on investment, but whatever you call it, it's very important to understand that these are real issues today, and these are issues which need real solutions. So, just that we should be conscious of all of this. In closing, I'd like to say that I am extremely happy, and not just happy, but I'm extremely proud of the work that each one of you is doing. You are really the conscience keepers of our organization. And I think our purpose is not just to make profits, but our purpose along with that is to better the societies that we live in. And you are all helping us do that. So thank you very much for your contribution in this great thing. I'm happy that we have this conference. I'm happy that we are at least able to take stock and in some way recognize what you are doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir, for your very kind words. And it was like, I was just wondering whether I'm listening to a top businessman, top business honko, or I'm listening to a social leader. So, sir, first of all, it's really great thing, sir. I think one standing ovation is definitely needed. So a standing ovation for you, all of you who are present in this hall. A big round of applause for all of you. And HPS sir, few points which you have mentioned, that first of all, need of impactful project, and that can happen only once we are doing impact assessment. Something, sir, what you talked about, that through partnerships and collaborations, we can multiply the value and expand our outreach. Third one, sir, what you talked about, the technology and digitization, how we can use and how we can make our CSR more inclusive. And sir, something very, very important about the employee volunteering. And sir, let me assure you on behalf of all of us that we are going to take all these points as our guiding force, and we shall be implementing. And when actually next conference is happening, so perhaps we can also put that what all we have done on those points. So with this, I'm coming to this, that a green certificate that will also be presented to our chief guest. I'll request Sanjeev Jha to please present that green certificate to our chief guest. And let me tell all of you that a tree garden of 101 trees that will be planted in the place Devghar, Jharkhand. So thank you, sir. And now let me request Shri Kapil Kaul sir, advisor CSR and sustainability JK paper, to propose vote of thanks. Kapil Kaul sir.
Good morning to everyone, and good morning Harshpati ji and Prem Singh ji and Sanjeev and Anupam. I was thinking that when it comes to vote of thanks, the game is over. So everybody has already said whatever has to be spoken. So what is there left for the person who is called upon to make the vote of thanks? But sometimes the 19th over of a T20 match becomes very, very important, because particularly if it's a game between India and Pakistan, and if Virat Kohli is on the pitch. So that makes it very, very interesting. So I would like to convert this vote of thanks into a vote of appreciation for all these people who are here. The reason is that, if you recall, sir, when we started our CSR conference, our total group budget was about 10 crores. Today, we are already 3 times that budget, and I think this year we will end with 30 crores. So this thanks goes to all the business unit and heads who have really worked hard to make the companies more profitable so that we have more CSR money to spend. Thank you very much to all the business heads. Second, we are likely to grow to 36 crores in 23-24. So which is a 20% increase on our CSR spends from the current year. And let me give a special thank you to Harshpati ji himself, because more than 50% of this spend is going to come from JK Paper, who he personally leads. So thank you very much, sir. And so it's a matter of great satisfaction to all of us here that the footprint of JK Paper CSR traverses 17 states, 17 states, which is more than 50% of India, and we cover 100 districts and 2,200 villages. So that's a wonderful achievement. We serve 5 lakh households, and this translates into 2.2 million children, women and men who are benefiting, who are supported, who are empowered, who are enabled in some way or the other by the CSR activities of the group. So, the emphasis in the morning session was to link all our CSR projects to the larger goals, whether it is SDG or whether it's the country's national development goals. I am happy to report to you, sir, that our CSR activities cover almost all these sustainable development goals, all these 17 sustainable development goals. In fact, we have done a brochure on this, and it was meant to be released during this conference, but Chairman sir wanted something else, so I could not do that. But during that process, we figured out that we cover all the 17 goals. Across the companies, sir. So, a lot of emphasis was laid in the morning on sustainable development. I'm happy to tell you, sir, that a significant number of our projects lead to conservation of soil, water, and forests. And the beneficiaries of these projects run into hundreds and thousands of individuals, because those projects we cannot measure because they're not direct beneficiaries to us. But when we create a water resource or conserve a water resource, when we create a forest land, when we create, when we nurture soil, you know, the numbers just multiply. So we are not able to estimate, but I am sure that it runs into hundreds and thousands of individuals. So one of the most significant CSR interventions of the group is based on women empowerment. And I'm particularly proud of this because I think women are more efficient than men. They perform better. Second, I think it is well known that if India has to become a 5 trillion economy and it has to become the leading economy of the world, unless and until more women come into the workforce, our GDP will not grow. Estimatedly, the growth will be about 18%. They will add 18% to the GDP if we are able to get about 60% of the women into the workforce. So I'm very happy, sir, to tell you that this is something that we are very proud of. I think from among our beneficiaries, about 18,000 women are directly impacted by our work. So that is a wonderful achievement. Another thing, I think I have talked about this. You talked about social capital formation, but also good CSR also leads to social stability, peace, and social harmony. Because when people are engaged and employed, there is the social harmony. The social harmony increases. So we have seen, like for example, I have personally seen in Raigada and Gajraula and other locations that when women are, when the people are benefited, when women are earning money, it creates its own dynamic and momentum towards the development of that particular region. So that leads to social capital, social harmony, and peace. So importantly, for a business, it was, I think, Prem Singh ji said that, he was talking about our culture, etc., etc. But one thing which has always struck me is that CSR also leads to consumer formation. Because when we put through CSR, livelihoods, create livelihoods into people's hands. They become customers and consumers of the products and services that we make. So it is, in a sense, it's a circular kind of an activity which leads to this. So with your permission, there are some 6, 7 players here who want to hit a 6. So if I have your permission, can I call their names? Yeah. So I have, the first name I have is Rochak Bardwaj. He has a 6er to hit. Please hit your 6er. नहीं, आपने कुछ बोलना था. हाँ, क्या बोला था आपने? Something about LC that you wanted to say about your CSR? भूल गए? हाँ. Skilling पे बोलना था आपने कुछ शायद.
ओके सर, थोड़ा सा ब्रीफ करेंगे थोड़ा प्लीज.
अच्छा ठीक है, आप याद करिए, तब तक मैं कीर्ति को बुलाता हूं. कीर्ति, यू वांटेड टू हिट अ सिक्सर.
You get your pitch updated, let me just hit a sixer. At JK Agri Genetics, we believe in living our vision. So harvesting happiness through innovation has been a one serious concept which we had taken up, which basically enables the farmer community with a better sustenance and a better living and a better earning. So this is our sixer, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think since कुछ याद आया आपको? करिए, जल्दी मारिए. सर को जाना है.
We'll talk about some of.
एक sentence.
Youth engagement in JK Lakshmi cement plant near Sirohi has been very significant, and that is our sixer under CSR for that place. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Sir, I will just mention the names of people who wanted to hit a sixer, but I think the rain has come. So the match is abandoned. So the names are Janardhan, Manushri, Gupteshwari, Praveen Shukla, Anupam, and one other name, Sayyaraj from JK Tire. Thank you, all of you. Thank you very much, sir. We can cover it later, yes. Sorry about the time. Thank you all.
Thank you, Kapil sir. Rest of the players are retired, hurt. And now we'll be having one group photograph. But before the group photograph, for the YouTube listeners, let me just mention that by now our live telecast for today, that is getting over of the inaugural session, while for the valedictory session, tomorrow from 2 o'clock again will be live. So I'm just actually addressing the YouTube listeners right now. While all the people who are present here, definitely it will be 2 days conference. So with this, I think I request all the dignitaries and also all the participants here to please come outside, and there will be a group photograph.
You know, I saw people got